I don't know if you've ever filmed, but this is just knocking me out today. I'm at the end of like an 8-hour day. They want me to give you this little video to tell you all about this, our seminar series that we've just watched the video. It's going to be awesome. And this one's about the oranges. So they're going to present your poster. Enjoy. All right, let's have our oranges now. And good thing they didn't put it over top of this one, because that's generally what they do. But we have a very mature group of oranges here, so.
I know you guys can read everything on here. I think the main thing as we were putting stuff down, we loved the idea of always growing and learning and trying to be better. And we wanted to take others with us and not do that on our own, help others to feel included and important. We put money on here. I don't know if anyone else has that on theirs, but success is important to us, and we want to always look for opportunities to grow.
Okay.
Orange.
All right, so we got this orange group up here. Lots of words, lots of phrases. Anything different than what you see over here? What are some words that stand out to you?
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. How is it spontaneous for this group? How about trying new things? What'd you say? You need a Xanax. Right? I had one group, the gold group, that very, very structured, and then the orange poster came up, and this is actually pretty structured from an orange poster. And he literally said, I have to leave the room. I can't even look at that mess, right? And I thought that was interesting. We're just for fun, we're having this conversation, but that is how, and honestly, that is how he saw oranges, right? Just a big mess of noise or whatever it is. So we have these humans, and this is what's important to them. The one word, if I give you one word, it's freedom. That is what drives the orange. If I'm just talking about pure orange, it's to be who I want, when I want, where I want. Don't tell me to do this. Don't stand. You give me an assignment to do, I'll do it. But you start telling me what to do and how to do it, I'll just throw it back at you. Right? Because, I mean, if you already know how to do it and you want to do it, go do it. But if you're going to give it to me, then let me do it, and let me do it my way. A lot of times you'll have bosses, right, and subordinates in this way, and that's the biggest battle. Remember we talked about what's the battle between these two groups? Heart, mind, internal. You don't see it. You know, if I had set somebody here at this table today, I probably wouldn't know about it. Because if they came and told me, you know, you really upset me today, it might upset me. And so they sit there, well, he probably didn't mean to say that, or you'll figure out some way. But I probably won't hear about it the first time. If I said something back here that wasn't quite right, well, you'll never hear about it. They might come back to me eventually and talk about it. These two groups, all hands off, right? Yeah, what was it years ago in the Congress, and that person just stood up and yelled, "You lie!" Right? That was an orange, right? There's nobody else would do that in a public setting like that. Just call it out, or it could have been a gold, right? They can't. If you see something and somebody doing something that's not right, isn't it your duty, right? Just to stop it, to tell them right now. The problem is that when you're doing that, or when we're doing that, we're doing it from whose frame of reference? Ours. So now we're starting to, again, project onto others. Well, no, we know that the rule says this. I went into one group, no kidding. I was doing a lot of, well, basically it's called Lean Six Sigma work. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's process improvement. I went into this group and I said, so they had this process, and I'm like, well, how long does it take to do this process? And it was like 6 hours to do this one process. It was an inspection of some kind. And I said, oh, well, why do you do the process? Oh, because the regulation requires us to do this inspection. Now, this is a reserve unit, so if you know the reserves, they only have basically 16 hours in a weekend to learn and train and do their job. And they were spending almost 6 hours of it to do this one job, the whole team. I said, well, is there a way you can do it better? Is there a way you can do it faster? And like, no, it is the way it is. And I said, well, again, so where's the requirement? They said, oh, so go get the instruction. They brought this instruction down, and so we were reading through the instruction, And it was like 10 years ago, this instruction was changed to eliminate that assessment. For 10 years, 6 hours every month, they created this report and sent it to nobody. Because, I'm not saying a goal, but because somebody said, this is what we do, we don't question, we don't change, this is what we do, right? And so in that moment, I'm like, and you should have seen the looks on their faces, right? So the good news is they never had to do that report again. Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things. So that's the essence of what's happening here. Externally, it's happening, and there's this battle that's going on, and it's kind of fun. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much is freedom important to this group? 15. They get to go back to 15. Yeah, because they're flexible. They can go back to 15, right? So just remember that. Remember as you're now think about the important people in your life. Just take a minute and just start thinking about the important people in your life. Where would they be sitting in this room today if they were here? What would they be saying? And I bet you start seeing some of the conflict we've had over the days, weeks, months. Think about people that you work with, right? And also then think about what part did you play in that? And that's what's going to kind of lead us into our next session. So we understand these temperaments exist, and they do exist. Now, none of us are any one of these. Remember that. We don't pigeonhole anybody into one of these colors. You don't get to leave here, and you won't after our next conversation. But now that you know I'm an orange, Jessica, don't expect me ever to be on time. Because you just know that oranges aren't on time. So now,
That's what my husband says.
right? And so, and that's what I refer to as a low mature statement. It's when I start using my temperament to act inappropriately around others. So if you liked what we talked about, it's all right here. Click below, get a copy of your book. Do it now. And oh, by the way, it's free.